race for the Premier League title approaches the second half, as we are in the midst of it now. It's Jose Mourinho's probably his toughest task to come to Fort Britannia in Stoke and get a victory. Stoke City's almost incomparable home performances have always been the talking point in this year's Premier League. It's no different. Stoke sitting in 7th, Manchester United with a not an unassailable lead by a matter of points, but as we've always said, this is one of the hardest grounds to come to. But Manchester United have the advantage of their 42 goals for record, and even the fortress of Fort Britannia might not be able to keep them out today, as Jose Mourinho is asserting authority in the English game, with his team still being part of all competitions thus far. Mark Hughes sends out today Jab Butland in goal, my apologies, with Johnson, Cameron, Edie and Peters. Glenn William, the captain, is with Shaqiri. In the midfield, Ryan Shawcross, who was booked in the previous match, is only on the bench with Shay Given. I believe it's Peter Crouch up front as always. In fact, I don't think that might be. It's a full-strength squad for Manchester United, minus 2 players. David De Gea is with Semedo Jones, PK and Luke Shaw. It's Rooney, Herrera, Mkhitaryan, Pogba and Martial. And Zlatan up front. The 2 players missing, Eric Bailly at the African Cup of Nations and Aaron Henwood pulling out the squad this morning with some neck strain injury. Anthony Taylor gets this matchup underway. I think injury is a bit of a stretch actually, and Wood is just suffering from neck pains from awkward sleeping the previous night, so he pulled out. He probably wouldn't have taken part in this game anyway. He normally plays the home ones, but he elected to pull out today. His neck is causing him some trouble, so that'll give him ample time to rest it anyway. So here we go. Manchester United in probably their toughest matchup of the season, like we said. Fort Britannia, one of the hardest places to get a result. As PK already cuts out that, and we have an early Sunderland corner. Stoke City corner, my apologies. I'm getting the teams wrong now. There was a recent update for the game. It actually gave us better slow-mo replay cameras for goals. So we'll be able to see things much better if we do get a goal today. And it's fallen to Cameron, who takes a stab at it and fires wide. And sliced that, didn't he? Really badly sliced. Sometimes that can happen with this ball. Not much contact on the left back with Valencia still out. I forgot to mention that, by the way. Valencia is still out with I think it was a broken leg or something like that. It was a while ago now. Really placed to Zlatan. Great touch, great turn and shoot, good save by Jab Butland. Once again proving why he should be widely considered for the number 1 spot in the England side. That's a great save from Butland. And you have to think Manchester United could be monitoring a couple of keepers. It's a good low corner, Rooney. And Herrera. Through and comfortably gathered by Butland. And you have to think, with the all this kind of transfer talk surrounding De Gea recently, I think we have to assume he's at one point going to go to Real Madrid anyway. Manchester United have to look at some goalkeeping options. Stoke City will stay at the Britannia Stadium, and they will take on Burnley next time out. For them. Pogba. Oh, it's gone in off the post. Now, did that take a deflection? I think it did. And Paul Pogba perhaps a surprise goal, but even I'm surprised that went in. And you can hear a pin drop here. Now, I'm sure this takes a deflection. In fact, no. Pogba, with the most unbelievable technique, it doesn't take a deflection. He somehow hits it. Butler miscues. It's in off the post. And Paul Pogba, oh yes, it is an own goal. It did take a deflection off Martin Zindi. And it is an own goal for Stoke City. So it did take a deflection. It looked like Pogba had the most unbelievable piece of skill there, but unfortunately we can't give him that credit. Manchester United have the lead. and it's not even them who score it. Marcus Indy own goal, and Manchester United are ahead. Stroke of luck perhaps, considering where Pogba had shot from in the first place. Poor Butland was miscued. The deflection put Butland off balance a little, and he couldn't get to it, and it was off the post. Well, that's the way Manchester United are going to win this match. Then they'll unduly take it. As we said, Britannia, a very hard place to come to. Ibrahimovic into Pogba, and Martial even, and 2-0 already. Just as I say that, and curse of the commentators again here. Zlatan, what a pass. Absolutely fantastic work here from Manchester United. And, well, we said it's a tough place to come to, but Manchester United have been making things look easy this season. And Jose adds another goal anyway to his already impressive collection. And it's Martial with his 4th goal in the league this season. And Stoke have it all to do as we approach the end of the first half. Stoke City 0, Manchester United 2. Rudy. Oh, he's at the bar. Well, Rudy fancied his chances, didn't he? What a strike. He lifts it. It looks like a chip shot. I don't think it was ever going in. It bounced off the top of the bar, but good strike for Rudy. And that is the end of the first half, and Manchester United with another comfortable lead. And Jose just shows no sign of abating anytime soon. Own goal from Martins Indy started the route with a Paul Pogba delightful looking shot. It was actually an own goal. And then just a couple of minutes later, Martial made it 2-0. And at one of the toughest places to play in the Premier League, Manchester United make it look easy again. Stoke 0, United 2. Cut out by Petrus. Well, it's a rather superfluous matchup for Manchester United next as they return to Crystal Palace to face them in the second leg of the EFL Cup semi-final. Manchester United have a 3-0 lead going into that. And really don't look like losing it. And now Pogba is going to run amok. He's going to go all the way. Paul Pogba has run the whole length of the pitch. It's off. Jab Butland. And Zlatan puts it in. 3-0. And it is game over. Paul Pogba running an absolute bug. Straight at Butland. And Zlatan doesn't miss those. Coolly converted for 3-0. And Manchester United, they just make it look so easy. What a fantastic season it's been. And Zlatan gets yet another. And that's 5 now for Zlatan. Don't forget, he missed out most of the beginning of the season with a broken toe. And he probably would have had a bunch more. But he gets his 5th in the league this season. And despite the injury, Zlatan is still Zlatan, isn't he? Goal scoring machine. 3-0 to Manchester United in the toughest place to play in the Premier League. And they're now forced to form, and the hair comes out and punches it away. Herrera. Zlatan back to Pogba. Pogba. Zlatan. Rudy. And it's going to go out, not for a corner. Zlatan keeps it in. That's a penalty, surely. No, the referee Anthony Taylor says no. That is a penalty. What is going on? That is a clear-cut penalty if ever I saw one. Oh my goodness, what a poor decision. I guess, to be fair, United are 3-0 up. There wasn't really many protests, but Zlatan should have been. It's a Stonewall penalty in the box. And I guess Anthony Taylor wanted to be a bit fairer on Stoke than the game has been given them, to be honest, because they're already 3-0 down anyway. And maybe it's a blessing in disguise to a degree, because don't forget, Manchester United have already scored 1 penalty kick all season. At Anfield, Swansea have equalised, and more misery is put on Jurgen Klopp there. Nelson Semedo with a cross in towards Pogba, and it is 4-0. And Nelson Semedo, who has been superb this afternoon, now gets an assist, and Paul Pogba is onside and coolly puts that past Butland. And Manchester United have had an easy ride of it this afternoon, and the EFL Cup semi-final second leg could be a perfect opportunity to get the youngsters back out on the pitch, as Pogba gets goal number 7 of the season. And well, for Britannia, you could hear a pin drop. It's silent, and Manchester United have the authority here. Stoke 0, United 4. Well, you have to enforce the rules somewhere. Oh, here comes Mkhitaryan. Surely not. 5-0. Henrik Mkhitaryan. And it's too easy. It really is a stroll for United this afternoon. 5-0. And Mkhitaryan, this is what he could do. And he was another one whose Manchester United career started really slowly, but now he's a regular starter in the team. And Chad Butland has had a horrid afternoon, and Jose has had a stroll, and he's had many like those in his Chelsea days, and now he's inflicting the same misery on opponents as Manchester United manager, as Mkhitaryan gets his 3rd goal of the season. And in probably the most comfortable performance of the season, Manchester United win by 5-0 in what is considered the toughest place in the league to play. Mark Hughes has had a dreadful experience today. Manchester United have made it look easy in another step towards their bid for a 21st league title, and this could be one of the most emphatic wins they have ever had, as Jose is dominating the game as a whole as Manchester United manager. He is having a ball. Stoke completely demolished. Stoke 0, Manchester United an emphatic 5. Let's have a look at all the other scores for today. Arsenal keep pace with a 2-1 win over Burnley, and they needed that after Manchester United set a statement against Stoke today. Bournemouth lost to Watford. Chelsea hold to a 1-1 draw by Leicester City. Crystal Palace continued their amazing run with a 2-1 win over Everton. Liverpool Swansea ended in a 1-1 draw. Manchester United emphatic win against Stoke. West Brom lost to Sunderland by 2-0, and David Moyes is working a few wonders there now. Let's have a look at the league table. Manchester United up by 5 and show no signs of slowing down, with Arsenal level on points with Crystal Palace, and Palace setting up a fight for second here out of nowhere. Spurs in 4th ahead of Liverpool on equal points. They're ahead by goal difference. Watford, Bournemouth setting amazing statements here as well, with 5th and 6th and 7th. Chelsea down to 8th, West Ham 9th. Stoke City, despite the thumping loss, stay in 10th. The champions are now down to 16th, with Sunderland winning today as well. Manchester City still in the relegation zone ahead of Everton on goal difference. Burnley, more misery, and they are getting worse by the week now, and their fate, as we said last week, all but sealed now with 12 points from safety, and it's looking dire, unfortunately, for them once again. Well, it's not a totally superbulous matchup tonight, but it is going to be a tall order for the home side in this EFL Cup semi-final. Crystal Palace against Manchester United, and already suffering from a 3-0 defeat in the first leg. Palace are having a very uphill mountain to climb in the other one. It looks like Stoke could be having the advantage up at the Fort Britannia Stadium, and they're coming off a 5-0 loss against Manchester United, their league encounter last time out. Palace has gone with Mandanda in goal, with Ward, Deeney, Dan and Square. It's Lessa Kabai, Zaha and Townsend in the midfield, with Lee Chung-yong and Luke Remy, former Chelsea man, up front today. For Manchester United, Jose is going with Mario in goal, with Darbian, Lind, Rojo and Borthwick Jackson. It's Depay, Carrick, Fosu-Mensah, Lingard and Mata in the midfield. Ashley Fletcher getting a start up front tonight. where he performed very well. Lee puts it in, and Remy scores. And we have a goal for Crystal Palace really early on. Mo with a fantastic cross, or Son, I believe it is. And Remy gets there in front of Blind and scores. And Crystal Palace have the lead on the night here. And all of a sudden, there might be some life in Palace yet. Still a bit of a long way to go though. No away goals rule, so Manchester United were to score again, it wouldn't really change the tide too much. Except for going back where we started, because now Crystal Palace have the lead. It's a goal to nil on the night. And they still need another goal to tie this up on the aggregate scoreline. Palace 1, United 0. Lingard. Ashley Fletcher. Oh, what a goal. And United bring the game level. And it's 4-1 aggregate now. What a great move by Ashley Fletcher to get him some space. Look at this. It's great passing here for United. And Fletcher's touch takes it away from the defender. And he slots it in the corner in a beautiful move. And Ashley Fletcher, is he saying to his former boss, you made a mistake letting me go? And I think, in my opinion, I think he is. He's only made 2 appearances, one in the FA Cup against Reading and one now, and he scored in both of them. Ashley Fletcher gets another goal in his restart, perhaps, of his Manchester United career. And United appear to be making a habit of having players go out and perform really well and come back. In the case of Pogba and Gerard Piqué, but now Fletcher is having a restart of his own form at his old club on a loan basis. I don't think that's ever happened before. And Ashley Fletcher is making that happen, and United are back level. 4-1 aggregate on the aggregate scoreline. Well, despite Palace having a very early lead, Manchester United are ball hit back for the beginning of the second half. It's a job done, really. I think that should settle it, but Palace is showing a definite fight here. So United aren't going to have all their own way, but it's still a tall order, and we're kind of back where we started, despite an early goal from Loic Remy. Ashley Fletcher's brilliant piece of skill now makes it Palace 1, United 1 on the night. 4-1 to United on aggregate scoreline. I don't think they have much to worry about. Remy! He's put it in, and curse of the commentators again. That has always happened this season for some reason. I think Romero's starting position was pretty poor there. He almost got there, you know. I don't think that's all Romero's fault. It's a good header from Loic Remy. I don't think he's going to do much in terms of the tie, but you never know. Well, Remy's got 2 of them. And if he scores a hat-trick, he'll put Manchester United 1 goal ahead of them now. Manchester United substitution being made. It's going to be Michael Carrick going off for Bastian Schweinsteiger. So that makes a change, because normally when Bastian plays it's him going off, but today it's him coming on for the final 20 minutes. And I can't think of anyone better than Bastian to take Manchester United through a game like this. They have been struggling on the night. Remy. Ferry, brilliant skill. And Lisa! And the lead might just be enough, but Fleeter belted that in the corner. I mean, Romero's had a good night, but that one he's not stopping. Fantastic strike by Fleeter. Nothing anyone could do about it. What a strike. Romero nowhere. He's had a decent night, but he's not getting to that one. Palace with a slim chance here. The Buja Fiza has made these last couple of minutes a bit more interesting than we would have liked. Or if you're a Manchester United fan, that is. 3-1 and 4-3 to United on aggregate now. It's going to be 5 minutes added on time. Can Palace pull this off? Ferry, Townsend. Townsend plays to Remy. Oh, and Remy's gone over the challenge. Oh, what a save by Romero. Oh, brilliantly done by Remy to get over the challenge from Borthwick Jackson. But what a save by Romero that is. Has he saved the match? Corner to Palace. Townsend will take it. Here he comes. And Memphis whips it away, and that's it. That's the end of the game. Manchester United getting through by the skin of their teeth in a way in the end. It's been a poor night from them, to be honest. It's probably been their poorest night since the West Ham loss. But losing doesn't mean much for them, as they are going to a Wembley final. But Palace really did give them a good fight tonight, and won 3-1 of the night with the 4-3 aggregate scoreline is what sends United through to the final. And Palace went down swinging, but the gap at the beginning of the match just proved just a little too much. But it could have been so different. But Sergio Romero denies them extra time. What a save! Despite the efforts of Wilfred Jackson with the challenge, Romero saved it, and United just getting through in the end. Palace 3, United 1 of the night. Palace 3, Manchester United 4 on the aggregate score. And we now know who their opponents will be. It'll be Stoke City at Wembley at the EFL Cup final.